Hello, and we're doing an alliance raid for ivalice, Final Fantasy 14. I'm saying what I'm doing again because it's a different video for YouTube. And yeah, once everybody queues up, we'll get into it. Shit. God damn it. Okay, well, let me see if I can find a bard or something to pass the time. I hate when that happens. Oh, it's filling up again, though. Sure. Okay. Come on. So close to this 1 DPS. God damn it. Okay, this time for sure. believe I lived. Holy shit. Alright. Ooh.
I waited for this moment, Garlean swine. Come! The blood of my fallen brothers feeds my hate!
What?
The Empire is a cancer! And I have the barber's blade! I'll tell you, live from live! Escape this! Agony and sorrow! Your suffering is not yet over. You will know no mercy! Agony and sorrow! Escape this! Agony and sorrow! Like a knife through butter! Your suffering is not yet over. I'll tell you, live from live! Escape this! Your pain is my pleasure. You will know no mercy. Your suffering is not yet over. Agony and sorrow. I, the Gamnon, shall deliver the king's justice! Feel the wrath of my brothers!
Oh my god.
You will pay for what you have done! With blood! this? This is far from finished, Guardians! Like a knife through butter! My words give me strength! Enough! Like a knife through butter! You may have escaped me in this life, but I shall be waiting in the next!
Nice. Mother's necklace, but what is it doing here? Unless... Alma, are you there? I'm here, Ramza. Extraordinary. The stones are different, but the craftsmanship is identical. However did it come to be in Gamon's possession? Though they are indeed of a different shape, the stones appear to be cut from the same crystal. Oh, they are Urusite. Urusite, and what makes you say that? Can't you feel it? You can feel it, can't you, Gertie? Do you recall me telling you that Gamon's considered the necklace special? It was special because it was entrusted to him by Prince Roslar. He was to return it to Princess Ashleia upon delivering Her Highness from Naveen. Nabina fortress. A family keepsake? Of course, in each necklace, each Urusite has acted as a lodestone, drawing both of our parties closer and closer to ivalice. Indeed, Father, the Urusite guides us. Ramza, are you recovered? Thank you, sister. I am well now. From what we know of the Duma and the odious vestiges of one's will may endure in an Aurosite, could it be then that the desire of the former owner or creator of these necklaces was simply to return to ivalice? But who could that have been? Ramza Beelv. He wanted people to return to his homeland and uncover the truth behind the kingdom's founding. But then why show us Lisa and Gogias? Simple. We are being tested. The Aurosite is measuring our worth, seeing if we are deserving of that truth. You say these things as if you knew them, but how could you? Nothing we have uncovered suggests anything of the kind. I know you have your doubts, but I can assure you they are misplaced. For now, I must ask you to trust me, Lady Mirula. Lady Mirula, since when did you? Ramza, are you feeling quite yourself? Of course I am, sister dearest. I have never felt better. I sense a disturbance in the ether. Father, these necklaces are gifts from the old gods who once watched over the Ivalicians. It is proof that we have their blessing. With the necklaces and the odious, we can finally prove. Thank you, Yo. I know not what came over me. Ramza, you must rest. Leave me be, Alma. Did I not tell you I'll be fine? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Amy, James? I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Another adventure under our belts, eh, yo? I'd best put pen to page before the details fade. Lezelia, and now Gog. One would think our discovery is more than sufficient to prove the Lexantel's claims, at least. With regards to ivalice's existence. but something tells me that until Genomus has proof that his ancestors were not the heretics the church painted them to be, he will not rest. And then there is the curious case of Ramza at Alma's throat one moment, all sister dearest the next. He was like a different person when he came to, yet I seemed to be alone and wondering exactly what happened to him back at the lighthouse. If you ask this lady, he must have taken quite some bump to the head when he fell. Then again, it didn't take him long to turn back his spiteful little self, so all's well that ends well. Greetings and salutations, yo. I suppose you were wondering whether or not the good Genomus has finally determined where in the world our next adventure is to take us. The good news is he has. The bad news, however. Now, while it's not in my nature to be sensationalist, sensationalism is in my job description, so please bear with me when I tell you that not all is right aboard the airship Lexington Tell. Something about Alma has me deeply worried. I would not trust this information in the hands of my publisher, let alone some sullen gate guard. Shall we continue our conversation on the Prima Vista away from the inquisitive ears? Were they? Principal Genomus claims to have learned much from his continued study of the Durai papers. Still, he appears to be frustrated at a lack of information crucial to solving the mystery. The question is, then, where exactly did Ramza and his fellowship journey next? Ah, yo, to what do we owe this unexpected visit? I had not planned on summoning you for another several turns of the sun. I apologize if we have caused you any worry. I suppose one cannot allow a reporter in their midst and not expect her to report what she sees, though I did expect a tad more discretion from Miss Mirla. Alma has, as of late, been experiencing difficulties with her health. Chirurgeons have been called upon to discern what exactly it is that ails her, but as far as they can tell, there is nothing physically wrong with my sister. The consciousness is the rigors of an extended stay in a foreign land have taken their toll on her fragile heart. Yo, when did you? Alma. I'm fine, brother. It is obvious you are not. You must return to your chambers and rest. Forgive me. Perhaps we shall speak again once I regain my strength. Until then, please look after my father. Now then, where were we? Ah yes, the matter of our next expedition. As we discovered during our most recent foray into the eastern sands, the Dalmascan capital of Rabanastar appears to lie upon the ruins of what can only be the royal city of Leslia, ancient capital of the lost kingdom of ivalice. Shortly after, we stumbled across remnants of the legendary clockwork city of Grau, cleverly repurposed into a lighthouse overlooking the Ridornia cataract remnants, which now sit suspended above the fathomless chasm. Leslia, Gog, what have they in common, you ask? I shall tell you. They both appear in my ancestors' account of the rise of ivalice, the Durai papers. And with each new discovery, the Forbidden Chronicle is now proving ivalice and legend to be more fact than fairy tale. There is no denying the proof, and it is but a matter of time before scholars and historians from across the realm come to the same conclusions. But as you are all aware, my aim has never been to simply prove the existence of ivalice. No, I shall not rest till I have revealed the truth of young Ramza's role in King Dalita's ascension and cleared my ancestor Oren Durai of the false accusations made against him by the church. Shouldn't you see your daughter first? Gane's Churigans would have us believe she is in no immediate danger, as her illness is not one of the body but of the mind. To borrow their words, her spirit is in a state of unbalance and merely requires time to right itself. Alma will be fine as long as she remains in bed. The last thing she needs is any further excitement, especially at the paws of these meddlesome mole bats. Though I must admit, both Monteblanc and his brother have proven more useful than I would ever have dared to imagine. When it comes to usefulness, I am first in the field, or was it the furriest in the field? Would you like to feel my fur, Kupo? And you wonder why Ramza despises you, brother. So, brother, they do all the work and all you do is just, Kupo. Ah, but you are mistaken, Herdy. I bear neither you nor your brother any ill will. Any further ill will, that is. If anything, I owe you my thanks for your recent contributions. His thanks? Are you hearing what I'm hearing? What happened to the venom-spitting adder we all used to know and hate? Alma certainly seems pleased with the change, but forgive me for not buying into this all too convenient transformation. Simply showing the world that ivalice actually existed will not validate the claims chronicled in the Durai papers. That is correct, Father. The key lies with Ramza Beove. If we can find evidence of his hidden role in history, it will prove Oren's testimony true and safeguard our family name from ridicule. Which is why I turned the focus of my research to Delita's forgotten companion and his actions during the War of the Lions. It was only then I discovered something most intriguing: an underlying struggle with an unknown force, a force with the power to bring about calamitous ruin. Parasite, the twisted abominations we encountered in both Leslia and Gaug the Lucave. They are born of these unholy crystals. While nobles of the north and south squabbled over ivalice's crown, Ramza silently sought to rid the world of a darker evil. Evil manifests from the deepest desires of men and women whose minds had fallen prey to the Orosite. And with each confrontation did Ramza's fellowship grow smaller, countless companions lost to a cause that would go unwritten, yet was far more important than any clash of armies. And so did they endure until reaching their final destination, the Ouroboros Monastery. Oh, I know this one. The Ouroboros Monastery is where Princess Alvela was raised. There's a scene about it in the Zodiac Wraith story. After Delita emerged victorious in his final campaign, he married the princess to legitimize his claims to the throne of ivalice. I see someone has been paying attention. But I don't understand. Why would Ramsar crusade against the Lucave? Take him back there. According to the Durai papers, the sinister being who engendered the Orosite was said to have slumbered beneath the monastery. But who or what would have the means to create something so powerful? Ultima, the High Seraph. A seraph, or what's a seraph? Seraphs are believed by some to be servants of the gods, divine beings whose only purpose is to carry out the will of their immortal masters. As to whether or not Ultima can claim this title, however, I cannot say. Just as there were those who chose to worship Ultima and her otherworldly might, there were equally as many who feared the visitor and her deadly magics, oft referring to her as the Angel of Blood for the carnage left in her wake. Interesting. What if the spell Leo claims to have experienced in the Praetorium, coincidentally also called Ultima, was in fact an elegant interpretation of the very magics introduced to Hydaelyn by the High Seraph? But that would mean, what would that mean? I have spoken with several colleagues back in Charlian regarding their opinions on the ancient incantation, and while they have little to show for their research, they all agree on one thing: the manner in which Ultima ethereally manifests should not be possible, at least on Hydaelyn. So it would naturally make sense if we discovered that the Alligans learned the spell from a being not of this dimensional plane. As to exactly how they convinced the being to impart that knowledge onto them, not of this plane, what manner of creature are we talking about here? Likely one similar to Omega. How long have you been listening from the shadows, my friend? Long enough. I am here to deliver the item Mikoto requested. Said there was no need for you to deliver it personally. A Moogle would have sufficed. A Moogle, and trust that he won't tear open the package and show it to some random adventurer? No, this was far too important. If you two do not mind, the principal was about to tell us how to find the Orobone Monastery. What? Would that I could. You don't know? Then what have we been doing here? At least, Lady Marilla. At ease, Lady Marilla. The Dorice papers speak of a cataract situated on the river Zerchel, several leagues southeast of Rabanastar. There supposedly lies the monastery. Zerachi is not a name you will find on any modern Dalmascan map. Rivers, however, especially ones as large as the Zerchel is established to be, are rare in a nation more than half claimed by the sand. The river we seek can only be that which bisects Golmore on the Naxian border. And for that invaluable information we owe thanks to our brothers Moogle. Their travels have made them veritable authorities on Dalmascan geography. Wait, but earlier you claimed you didn't know the monastery's whereabouts. I'm confused. Its location is not what concerns me, but perhaps the Moogles themselves should explain. Why, certainly. That verdant valley of vines and vipers to where we must forage next is home to the Viera, and therein lies our little problem. The one thing the Viera do not suffer is trespassers, not even lovable Moogles, Kupo. Our glamours kept us hidden long enough to see the jungle was teeming with ruins, much like those we've discovered in Lazia and Gaug. But the Viera trackers eventually found us and took us before their elders. We barely escaped with our palms, Kupo. So that is why we are still here talking instead of bound for the border. There are Viera who have spurned the strict code of their tribes, abandoning their people to come and live in the cities of Dalmasca. Finding and recruiting one to our cause might provide us with insight into how to reach the Orobone Monastery ruins. Unfortunately, the nation's current turmoil has not made it easy to accomplish this task. We still require more time. Before boarding the shuttle here, I was stopped by a Baga on the docks. He asked me if I knew a Yosun and bid I deliver her a message. I told him he was welcome to accompany me to the Prima Vista so that he might deliver that message himself, but the man refused. Mikoto, I saw this device crafted to your exact specifications, but cannot guarantee that it will function as intended, seeing as I had nary a subject to test it on. Of course, Master Sid, if any trouble is met, then most likely it is my design that is to blame. Your confidence in my craftsmanship is flattering, but you should sell yourself too short, my dear. Here's to your success. Good day. Okay. I'll be right back. Alright, let's get this dialogue. Something is obviously very wrong with poor Alma. Why her father doesn't seem to pay her condition much mind is something we should all be wary of. You won't believe this, but since our time together in Clockwork City, Ramza and I have grown inseparable. Why, I'd consider him a closer companion now than even my good brother, Hurdy. Just don't let Hurdy know that, Kupo. Both Montblanc and his brother Hurdy have proved invaluable to our expedition. I owe them my thanks. And I suppose an apology, I admit. When they first arrived, I was wary of their ability to contribute to the cause. However, over the past moons, they have done their damnedest to prove me wrong. I used to believe that we Garleans were inherently better than, well, everyone else. I suppose a part of me still does. It was what I was raised to believe. It was what all Garlean children are. Only now have I begun to realize the fool I was. Our exile here has forced me to face the arrogance that has controlled me my whole life, and what I found was that I was simply frightened. Frightened of change, frightened of admitting I was weak, and so I lashed out, and I am sorry that you, Montblanc, Groggy, and the others had to suffer. I have no issue with Ramza's unexpected change of heart, just with how it actually came about. I fear it might be the Urusite playing with his heart, Kupo. I sense a surge of ether the precise moment he came in contact with the necklace, though that surge has since passed, Kupo. There is no question that ivalice once stood atop the lands we now call Dalmasca, but with the passage of time have remnants of those eras past faded beyond recognition. If only the great library at Rabanastor still stood. My knowledge is limited, but if there is aught you wish to ask. Why, hello there. Are those the engines I hear? I do hope we are bound somewhere exciting. My thoughts drift often to my brothers in Garlemald. I fear they think I have somehow abandoned them. Before Sid left again, he handed me another of his queer contraptions, mumbled something about it being a modified version of Allegan's storage node. Would you care to take a listen? Records found infiltrating query protocol. The minstrel, with the devilish disheveled hair, as strange a fish as any of us has seen, and I have seen plenty on my travels. Most bars simply retell the tales of high adventure, adding a twang of the lute here and a toot of the fife there for flavor, but the wandering minstrel is different. He seems more inclined to challenge his audience than entertain them. One might say he is a god creating worlds for his children to plan, or not. A god would never be caught wearing those spectacles. Still, there is much a playwright like myself might learn from such a fellow. You're a playwright. I took in a performance at the Mijakuza the other day and must say, it was quite the experience. I, of course, had no idea what was going on, but it all sounded brilliant. The local courtesan who accompanied me explained it was the tale of 13 samurai ronin, I believe she called them, who embarked on a journey to avenge their slain lord. All in all, 'twas a bloody affair that ended in death of everyone save the tiny fellow in charge of the lighting, but the audience were on their feet cheering for more. Principal Genomus claims that the rift twixt any two cultures can be bridged through the telling of tales, though I worry that anyone who would cheer an ignoble death in the service of one already dead will be unable to appreciate aught we might offer them here on the Prima Vista. Oh, and I said that aloud, didn't I? How careless of me. At first we thought Alma was merely a tad under the weather. The winds up here can prove quite chilly, but now... 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I must stay limber for... why, for the stage, of course. Who? I mean, what did you think I meant? Oh my. My friend, why the hurry? There is little in this world more important than a crest of steel, unless it calls of granite. Would you care to join me for a few thousand lunches? Your body will thank you in the morning, as will your lover. Haha. Gee, I wonder who it could be. There. I sense that you're all interested in the package Sid delivered. I have every intention to appraise you of its contents, but first I believe we should speak of Alma's condition. Do you not find her illness all too timely? Genomus and Ramza would like to believe that her bouts of vertigo are not but a result of a mind fatigued, but the answer is clear. It is the parasite that plagues her. Alma recently confided in me that she would hear her father speaking with the odious well before even his first foray into Rabanastar. However, I do not think this is entirely true, which is not to imply that Alma is trying to deceive us. Rather, I think she saw something that led her to believe her father was conversing with the Orosite. Moreover, I suspect it was the Orosite itself that granted her this vision. You recall my hypothesis on distinct frequency and NRR-type harmonic vibrations and their tendency to promote ethereal amplification? Or when I mentioned that despite being in the principal's possession for an extended period, the odious exhibited none of the imprinting present in the Duma? No. The odious has never resonated with Genomus. It has always been his wife's pendant and its Orosite shard. The Virgo, that fueled his passion for ivalice. No, the odious is bound to Alma's deepest desires, whatever those may be. The only reasons I can fathom that Alma has not fallen victim to the Orosite's grasp is that her desires are not as strong as those we have witnessed in Argath or Bagaman. That and the ethereal interference caused by other nearby shards. I have explained all of this to Alma and recommended that she destroy the necklace, yet not only did she refuse, but she begged me to keep this revelation from her father. And so I did the only thing I could. I devised a means with which I might impede or at least lessen the effects of the odious. This device, while still incomplete, will amplify the NRR wavelengths emitted by the Virgo. This should work to interfere with those emitted by the odious, thereby shielding Alma from the brunt of their effect. The city below is all abuzz with word of a Baghdad brigand loitering about the airship landing. Do you think it could be someone we know, Kupo? I've taken a piece of the Virgo and fitted it to my device. It may, however, still require some time to calibrate properly. The body is but a vessel for the soul, a puppet which bends to the soul's something, and lo, the body is not eternal for. Ah, you must forgive me, yo. I was lost in my work. Several of my patrons are expecting returns on their considerable investments, you see. I did it, friend. I took our principal's word to heart and spent a moon traveling the islands of the Ruby Sea. I eventually ended up on Ankoro, where I was taken in by a merry band of confidants. What characters they all were. We feasted and drank until morning, singing the songs of our people. When the Prima Vista first arrived in Kagane, I told myself I would not let my grief overcome me. I put my head down and concentrated on my craft. It was not until much later that I realized that by paying that grief no heed, I had allowed it to swell like a storm head in winter. But now I found I can be happy once again, or at least try to be. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about the break there. I had to say hi to my sister. Alright. Apologies, yo, but I needed to speak with you, and you alone. Oh, don't mind me, Kupo. I'll just be floating over here in perfect earshot. Why you? What makes you think I won't lay you low right here, right now? Because we're here to offer you a proposition, that's what. We need information on Golemore Jungle and thought a man as well traveled as you might be persuaded to provide some. Golemore, you of all creatures should know that is Viera Land. What are you offering then? Why, the opportunity to tell us what you know. Genomus believes our next adventure lies beneath the jungle canopy, Kupo. I should have expected as much. Very well. Yo, I came to ask if you would meet someone. Now it seems that someone may be able to assist Genomus as well. Seeing as you and the principal did right by us before, I do not see a reason why I cannot take both of you. Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanastar. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention. Back to the life of brigandage in the clouds, are we? Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds, but when faced with the decision of what to do next, we needed simply to remember the dying words of our leader, Gigjuk Grinnock, and I decided to re-enlist as Damascene Fusiliers. And the accompanying Garleans actually said yes, Kupo? No, not exactly. We're now with the Resistance. You no doubt heard of the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation, and how it was crushed under the iron heel of the 4th Legion. The resistant leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed, yet much to the Empire's chagrin, the gruesome display only served to further rally the survivors. Remove one head and 2 grow back in its place. Remove 2 and then there are 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Lentisteers. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossings with you and yours, She simply insisted that we introduce you. Me? But it wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo. Not you, Hairball. Her. Meet with the general and hear her proposal, yo. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kagane unharmed. You have our... Curl got your tongue? Rabanastar is dead ahead, lads. This way, we've many moms to cover before nightfall. This place. I remember this place. I remember her. Holy shit. I've done as asked. I bring you the Liberator. And here I thought she'd be taller. I knew it, every era. I am Fran, proud daughter of Dalmasca and General of Lantes Tears. And yes, Moogle, I am Riviera. Are you surprised? Why, yes, in fact I am. Her kind are all supposed to be living amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world, Kupo. There are supposedly only a few who have left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in the sewer. Indeed. This Viaga claims you seek Arbone. Does he speak true? Those ruins lie deep within the Gorlamore jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. They would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Brage tells me you travel with Garleans, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such? And then you know the Empire and its people are one and the same. When you slay an Imperial soldier, you are not slaying an individual, you are slaying the enemy. Your companions, Liberator, are the enemy, despite their supposed change of heart. You misunderstand. Kind Genomus does not approve of the Emperor's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses, Kupo. And what would a Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We would cut you open and find out. General, there is no need for threats. You're right, Bragi. Let us then parley. Parley? Parley. First, the resistance requires men. men and women from the Eorzean and Eastern alliances to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you, or if not, they will listen to the scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the resistance requires gold. Gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the Eastern Eldern Trading Company, which continues its dealings with Garlemald, even as you raise your sword against them, profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression as targets of that aggression. I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Orobon. And what of the Lexentals? See me to victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. Those are my conditions. What say you? Tell them my demands, but know the fate of your expedition hangs on how well you do so. I say we have our work cut out for us, Kupo. Froggy, you and the Fusors are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how my demands are received. Yes, General. Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You are a fool to trust them, Princess. Do not be put off by Lady Fran. The General has quite the edge to her, but it is only because she wants what is best for the Resistance. I finally come to accept that Gammon is gone for good, but I will never forget how he met in his end. I cannot not allow my hatred to consume me as it did him. The General is not too bad once you are on her good side, her only good side being her backside, but you didn't hear that from me. Truth. Okay. What an adventure, Kupo. Just think, by tomorrow we could all be... What an adventure, Kupo. Just think, by tomorrow we could all be the newest members of the Dalmascan Resistance, or not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet. Hurry. Hurry. If I don't tell someone of our adventure quick, I'll positively burst, Kupo. Where have you been? in Rabanastar with Montablock? Why didn't you tell me? How am I supposed to report on something if I'm not there to see it? Let me tell them, yo. Let me, Kupo. I have no issue with it. Ooh, this song. This woman asks much of us. The Viera have ever been wary of the outsiders. For centuries, their many tribes have remained hidden in jungles, content with their self-imposed solitude. Each tribe has its own strict code and will meet swift punishment to any who would defy these laws. As such, many Viera will spend her entire life bound to the territory of her ancestors, both unwilling and unable to venture beyond its borders. And while the tribes are wholly independent, they have agreed to uphold a single standard: shun all contact with the outside world unless it is to protect the jungle. That said, with every generation there are those Viera who long for a life beyond the verdant sea of the trees and abandon their tribes to start a new life in the kingdom cities. My guess is that this Fran is one such individual, who also happens to be the only individual we know who can guide us to the monastery, Kupo. It seems Yo's sword arm won't be enough to see us through this predicament. She'll need to don the right mantle of a diplomat if we're to convince the alliances and the East Elder Trading Company to grant us aid. What could go wrong? Yes, I know you said not to call unless it was urgent, but this is urgent. Alright, not exactly, but my superiors have come to a decision on your request, and I thought you might want to hear what they had to say. Oh, and let me preempt any request for immediate disclosure with a reminder that the information is much too sensitive to discuss over Link Pearl. Meet me at the Ruby Bazaar post haste, and I shall duly appraise you of their judgment. Well then, yo, what are we waiting for? It saddens me that I cannot be of any aid. You have every right to think of me weak, yo, for I am, at least now I admit it. Has my brother been behaving? And here I ask this already knowing the answer, Kupo. A trip to the Ruby Bazaar where there'll be refreshments? No? Well then count me out, Kupo. I pray for your success, yo. Not because I am a man of religious tendencies, mind you. It simply feels like the proper thing to do in these sorts of situations. Now, is there aught you wish to ask of me? Drink water. I've read about how you united the whole of Eorzea under a single standard and convinced the Holy See to end a 1,000-year conflict. Compared to that, asking for a few soldiers and a coffer or three of gil should be a piece of rolled berry cake. I suppose we should inform Broggy down at Kagani Landing of our progress. You mentioned he was to keep an eye on us. I've informed Broggy of our situation. We are ready to make for the Ruby Bazaar when you are. So you've an answer from the East Aldern already? Impressive. It would seem that Lady Fran has underestimated your influence among the realm's players. I assume you have no objections to me joining you then. Runok and I will stay here with the airship. Our last foray into the city was met with one too many cold stares for my liking. Vessels such as ours require extensive maintenance to remain skyworthy. You and Broggy take as long as you need. Whenever you're ready, yo. Hancock awaits us in Bazaar, shall we, yo? Hello, lovely Lady Anna Banga, and here I was expecting you would be alone, yo. But excuse my manners, I am Hancock, representative of the East Aldern Trading Company assigned to oversee your assets here in Kogane. It is a pleasure to meet you. And I am Yaguri. We apologize for making you come all this way. Not that it is far from landing to, Ragi, was it? I serve Lord Hine, rightful ruler of Doma. I have come bearing our nation's reply to your end treaty. And I am Taru of the Science of the Seventh Dawn. I'm only here seeing as no one else could be bothered. Well, that and to bear a message from the leaders of the Orzian Alliance. Thank you both for coming. I am Broggy, formerly of the Damascan Royal Fusiliers. I now claim allegiance to Lente Tears, a resistance group seeking to accomplish what you have in Doma and Alamigo. What tidings have you brought us? Allow me to begin then. While the East Aldern Trading Company sympathizes with your plight, we are not in a position to grant you the funding you seek. As you are aware, the East Aldern Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters of political or personal. And what of our relationship with the Eurasian Alliance? Ah yes, what I meant to say was, here in Hangashi, the Eastern Aldern Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters political and you must understand our position. Simply supplying coin to any one group would make it appear that we somehow favor that group over another. Seeing as we conduct business openly and fairly with everyone, doing such would be sending the wrong message and ultimately harm profits, yes? And by selling to both sides, you maximize profits while good men and women perish. How convenient. We are a business, milady. We do what we must to survive. That does not mean, however, we are blind to the needs of our customers or our allies, which is why we support the Eurasian Alliance and their noble efforts to safeguard their realm's freedom through a mutually beneficial arrangement. If it were my choice, I would provide your little resistance with all the funding it needs, but as my good friend Yo knows all too well, it is not my choice. Well, now that Hancock thoroughly lowered your spirits, you won't be as crestfallen when I inform you that the Eurasian Alliance will also be unable to provide any assistance. And let me guess, you did everything in your power to try to convince the leaders of each city-state, only to watch as they politely declined our proposal, claiming an unfortunate lack of intelligence or resources. Wait, how did you... Lord Hines sends his greeting to you and yours. Having recently found strength through a newly formed alliance with our neighboring nations, Doma is open to further welcoming like-minded organizations. This includes our Dalmascan brothers and sisters still suffering under the imperial yoke. However, word has it that the latest attempt at reclaiming your kingdom ended in failure, resulting in the loss of countless lives, including many of the resistance leaders. You are not mistaken. Our army is not what it once was. Those remaining have been forced to take refuge deep beneath the streets of Rabanastar. The Fourth Legion has already defeated you once. Lacking unity and leadership, the current resistance will not survive another tilt against the Empire's discipled ranks. If Doma is to join hands with Dalmasca as an ally, you must first prove to us that you will stand as one. Doma, as a full-fledged ally, would serve far better to strengthening our cause than a few temporary soldiers. Yet, even if we were able to wrest Dalmasca from the Empire's grasp, without unity amongst your people, the resulting chaos could prove even more perilous to the kingdom. You understand much of our situation. And based on that understanding, you would refuse your aid to Lente's tears, am I correct? Do not mistake me. Lord Hines' refusal is but a message to help you plan your next step. You have a wise master. He understands that without proper planning, driving one enemy from your midst simply creates room for the next. Lady Friend will no doubt be pleased to hear that your response was exactly what she expected. You knew this whole time that your demands would be rejected, yet you still let this farce play out. You have my apologies, but this was all necessary to prove an important point to our leader. Lady Fran needed to show the princess just exactly what she's getting herself into, and your honesty today will serve us better than any hollow promise. Thank you. Wait, what about the Golemore jungle? Can you believe this? We're right back to where we started. Principal Genomus will not be pleased. Excuse me. If it is as you say, it is most unfortunate. But I suppose we did everything in our power, and that is all one could ask. I still do not understand. Why would Lady Fran send Yo on this wild bizarre chase if she knew from the start it would be for naught? Brage mentioned something about Fran proving a point to their leader, whomever that may be. People in positions of power can prove both naive and stubborn creatures. Simply telling a leader she is wrong may not convince her of the fact. Seeing one's own plan fail, however, is oft the best medicine. Naive and stubborn, then the resistance is doomed. If a person as imposing as Fran is taking orders from her, then chances are this leader is even worse, Kupo. I would not be so certain, Montblanc. My guess is that the individual in question is still quite young and inexperienced, and that Lady Fran is trying to teach her to be an effective leader through example. By allowing her to make her own mistakes, Fran is granting her the ability to learn and grow from them, an experience that will ultimately benefit her when the time comes to make some truly difficult decisions. Now I seem to recall reading that one of the many faces of the resistance before the recent quelling was a young girl of royal blood. Do you suppose... You may cease with your baseless presumptions, defector. The door was open. And you would be? I would be here on orders from the leader of Lente Tears, against my better judgment, mind you. Greetings, Lady Fran, I presume. I am Genovus Sen Lexinal, principal of the Majestic Theater Company. You and your colleagues are most welcome on the Prima Vista. What is your leader would have us of us? While you failed in meeting even a single of our demands, she recognizes that you were sincere in your attempts to see them fulfilled, and for that effort you are to be compensated. That is most generous. The ruins which you seek are hidden behind a waterfall here, a point roughly equidistant from the river's source and its delta. You have our thanks, Lady Fran. We will not forget this kindness. Father, I shall plot a course immediately. Ramza, what is going on here? Alma, you should be in bed. I've slept long enough, brother. Tell me, who are our guests? It appears you once again prepared to a leap into dangerous maw. Keep your wits about you, yo. Lady Fran is strong, but then again, so is Gaman. If you'll excuse me. Are you mad? A trip to the surface in your condition? Listen to me, brother. The High Seraph beckons. She speaks to me through the Odious. The what? There is no need to worry. Mikoto and I have already devised a plan. I can help clear our family name. The Shalian has no say in this. I am your father, and I insist you remain here on the airship. What would your mother say if I allowed aught to befall you? Mother, that is what this is all about, isn't it? What it has always been about. You care not about ivalice or the Oran name. No, you only seek to use the Urusite to bring Mother back. But you haven't been able to do that. You still do not understand how exactly it is that the shards translate one's desires into reality. That is where I can help. I can ask the High Seraph. It is she who created the Urusite. Ultima has bid me come to her place of imprisonment. If we free her, she will reveal unto us the secrets of her creations. Do you hear what you're saying? Alma, even if there was the slightest chance of bringing Mother back, we cannot risk your life in doing so. Your brother is right. We have sacrificed too much already. I cannot bear the thought of losing you, either of you. It is too late. I'm so lonely, Father. Why must you love Ramsa more than you love me? Do not be cozened by your daughter's words, for they are not her own. Help me, Rams. Alma. No, no. God's forefiend. I told you, no one can control the power within those shards. No one. Yo, here, take this. It might be the only thing that can save Alma, but we must hurry to the monastery. Come, we leave for Garlemald Jungle, now. Oof. I was secretly hoping you'd regale me with tales of the Vieira and their tribe's strange ways, but I fear now is not the proper time. Perhaps another day when the principal's daughter is safe. Nothing will become of Alma, will it? I cannot imagine the Prima Vista without her. Keep away. I'm not about to be whisked away into the void by some strange portal you've got and dragged onto the ship. Shoo. Would you mind telling me what that was and what it did to poor Alma? Nothing to worry about? Nothing to worry about. Yes, did I appear worried? Because I am anything but worried, that is, and I am not. That was the Ursites doing? Such power. Never before have I stood in the presence of such power. The whole experience had my muscles a tingle. Yet I am not afraid, for it is with might that we can stand against magic so foul. If what we just witnessed were truly teleportation magics, then the amount of aether required to create a portal that large from such a distance would surely be immense. From both the principal and my husband, I've heard mention of a blight brought about by the Urusite. Could that portal we just witnessed be a means of spreading it? No. Now is not the time for idle speculation. You must focus your efforts on the task at hand. I've been such a fool, and now I've lost my daughter. Will you ever forgive me, Tia? I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I won't believe it. I won't dare. It didn't happen. Hold on me. I have good news and bad news, yo. The bad news is that it appears the High Seraph was about to employ the odious as a catalyst to propel her magics beyond whatever seal she is trapped behind. The good news is, this means my device should function as intended. Its design is based off of one of Moonbreeda's. It repurposes the logic behind her etheric siphon into a means of disrupting ether flow by reversing common wavelengths and let us just say it has already been calibrated to match the energy emitted by the Odious. As long as Ultima continues to wield the Odious, we should be able to interfere. But it only works if we can find Alma, which is why we must make haste. What do we do? What do we do? We cannot just leave poor Alma to become one of those monsters, Kupo. I think we saw enough to prove that Ultima is no angel, Kupo. If she's not, then what is she? I just realized it's a Final Fantasy VIII reference within a Final Fantasy ivalice collection reference. It's a reference within a reference. I told her this was a mistake, and now look what has happened. If you were wise, you'd toss all the remaining shards into Hell's lids and cut your losses. But you've no more wisdom than Backgammon, and that's why the High Seraph has already won. Damn. Was the power I sensed beyond the rift? Was that the High Seraph? Have I your permission to depart, yo? Every moment we tarry here, my sister, she. Then hold on, I set engines to full speed. Welcome to the land of my people. 'Twould be a poor lie if I said I did not miss it some. Alma. Ramza, help me. Alma. Be gone. Alright, Ramza. Alma, Ramza. Blood of the invokers, fulfill the ancient covenant and grant unto me the vessel promise. Whoa. What just... brought to me, the girl is not well. Might I suggest we can continue this back at the Prima Vista, Kupo? Have you the courage to face true evil? What are you gawping at? The ship is this way, Koopa. You rescued Alma only to watch as Ramza was taken in her stead? Promise me, yo. Promise me you will see this, right? Yes, it would appear that Ultima has abandoned Alma, only to take possession of her poor brother. But riddle me this, yo. What type of being would require a mortal vessel? Correct, one without a corporeal form of its own. So the true question is, then, how that the High Seraph has one in Ramza, what exactly will she become? And just when the boy had begun to return to his normal caring self, oh Ramza, I do hope you are unhurt. When we were in Garlemald, the young Lexanal never spoke ill of others, and most certainly not of his sister. It wasn't until arriving in Kugane that his temperament began to change, and not for the better. He began lashing out at anyone and anything that was different. His life in the Empire had not prepared him for what awaited on the outside, and the exile left him stripped of any identity in which he still held much pride. He allowed his frustrations to consume him, but such is to be expected from someone so young. Yo, son, I ask you to look past Ramses' transgressions, for they are but a product of his youth. He is a good child and does not deserve the fate he has been dealt. Please, you must find him. When I was but a pup, I lived on the streets of Garlemald, or to be more precise, beneath the streets. My home was the sewers, and my family the countless other orphans who kept to the shadows, lest they be carted off to the Corellian mines or worse. At least they were my home until the Senate voted to seal them off. When the purge came, my brothers and I were given no choice but to flee, and so we ran and we ran, until there was nowhere left to run. Fortunately, a handful of influential families had taken pity on our plight and demanded that the Empire see to the care of these displaced children. For what is the nation's future if not children, or so they argued. The Senate conceded and proposed a system that would provide aid for families that adopted these sewerlings. It was the Lexitel family that took me in, and for many summers did I work as an errand boy for their troop while going to school and learning to play the lute. I suppose you could say that makes Ramza and I brothers, which is why I could not bear to think of what I would do if he were to not return. I beg of you, yo, save him. Oh, Ramza, his selfless act has now put his own life in danger, as a brother never loved his sister more. I see Alma is back, and none the worse for wear. But now Ramza has gone missing. When will this end, I asked. When? Have you returned with Alma? Wait, is there someone missing? It has been made obvious that the Ursa is beyond our control, beyond your control even. Its power must be contained, researched, and managed, and there is only one who might accomplish such a task. More through than D-Zone, yet powerless to save Ramza from a fate worse than prop building. If my muscles cannot prevent such misfortune, then pray what are they good for? I will not see the same fate that befell Bagam befall young Ramza. We must do something, and quick. If a magic drift was necessary to seize Ramza, then it's quite possible that Ultima is still incapable of traveling beyond the bounds of the Orbone monastery. However, if Orsite is all the High Seraph requires to do so, then we are in grave danger. First Selma and now Ramza. What does this Ultima want? Poor Ramza, whisked away from under our very whiskers. What poor companions we make, Kupo. A poor companion would be one who sat around and whimpered while others worked to find a solution to their troubles, Kupo. We must act for Ramza, for Dalmasca. Now Ramza is gone. Oh dearest Tia, what have I done? What have I done? We need to do something, but what recourse is left to us? The only means we had to protecting ourselves could not even prevent my son from. I am sorry, Genomus. My design was flawed. Not necessarily, Charlian. We all saw how it succeeded in drawing Alma back from the rift and shattering the odious. The loss of the boy is not yours to bear. Our focus here should not be on our failures, but what we have learned from them. The being beyond the rift. It spoke before claiming grounds. I referred to you as the blood of its invokers. Could it be your ancestors are responsible for Ultima's summoning? Most certainly not. I have discovered no such inference anywhere in the Duro papers. Besides, tales of High Seraph existed far before even the earliest of ivalice in legends. Then who exactly did summon Ultima, and why does she think them your kin? Look, I have a bad feeling about this, Koopa. Ramza dead? You lie as well as you carry yourself in battle, Orin. I did not say he was dead, my lord, Delita, merely that he had abandoned his mortal vessel, entrusting his ethereal soul to the Urusite. But why would he do such a thing? Peace has finally come to ivalice. there is not to be had from further sacrifice. The kingdom is won, and this victory is as much his as it is mine. He risked life and limb to shield me from the dark that would have seen me perish. Without him, I would not be standing here before you. It is my duty as both king and colleague to see him saved. Knights, to me, we ride for Orobone. My lord, wait. Ajor Gladbados, first of the Zodiac Braves, was not the hero the church would have you believe. He betrayed Mother Heidelin for the promise of coin and power, summoning forth a terrible evil from the depths of the celestial abyss. It was believed only one of the lands chosen, only a warrior of light might stand against this threat. Yet, while victorious in battle, Ramza was unable to see the darkness vanquished. If failure was all that awaited our warrior of light, then what chance do you presume any other might stand? Are you saying I should do nothing then? No, my lord Ramza is my brother's final wish before he surrendered to the Aether was that his name be struck from the annals of history. Alma, you're unhurt, but I was led to believe none but Orin returned from Orobone. What is this you speak of your brother's wishes? When it became apparent that we were powerless to truly defeat the High Seraph, we chose the only path left to us, to do what Heidelin herself did centuries past, imprison Ultima. And as you are aware, my lord, a prison is only as strong as the seal on its gates. Ramses sacrificed his body to ensure that the Angel of Blood would never again walk the land, and he believed that if people knew of this sacrifice, it would only inspire them to seek out the holy stones and repeat the mistakes of those who came before. If you truly avouch yourself his friend, then you will honor this, his final plea. No, Ramses should not be forgotten. He should be raised up as a hero for his deeds and claim his rightful place at my side. Only he might be my knight gallant. He is gone, my lord. Before Ramsar was your friend, before he was my brother, he was a warrior of light. He did what he did for Heidelin and for those who would one day, too, heed the crystal's call. Claim the throne, my friend, become ruler of ivalice and restore peace to this war-torn realm once and for all. Wait, Ramsa, don't leave me, please, I beg of you. You will make a fine and just king, Delita. See that you do not stray from that path. Ramza. These stones and these two necklaces, you are certain they will guide the heroes of a new era to Ramza? 'Tis what Ramza wished, my lord. Orin, I do not believe I can bear another farewell this day. Will you not reconsider my offer to remain as a member of my court? 'Tis but a matter of time before the cardinal and his temple knights grow wise to my past. I would not have my presence here implicate you as well. Ramza beseeched me strike his name from history, but like you, my lord, I could not bear the thought of future generations blind to the truth. As such, I penned the chronicle of the hero's journey. I fear the world, however, is not yet ready for the gospel contained within these pages, nor would the church ever allow its circulation. In fact, I believe they will confiscate every existing copy and lock them away in their library. And what better way for the words to remain forever preserved than in one of the most highly guarded vaults in all of the realm? Then one day, when the church has fallen out of favor, the chronicle will be discovered and the truth shall prevail. I must admit, your plan is intriguing, Orin, but once the church learned it was you who penned the chronicle, your life. Oh. Yo, 'twas the echo, wasn't it? The removal of Ramza's name from the history books, the Durai papers, the pennants, it was all set in motion by Orin himself. And if the Liberator's visions are to be taken as fact, it also appears we now know what the High Seraph meant by blood of my invoker. She was not speaking of ancestors in the sense of actual kin, but the line of those chosen by Hydaelyn to serve her as warriors of light. But then, why abduct Ramza, or even Alma, unless there is something you haven't been telling us? She was using us to lure Yo. It is her vessel the High Seraph desires. Maltron's treats, Alma. How long have you been awake? I've been a fool. I told our leader that it did not matter if our request for aid was refused, for I had an alternative ploy. General. It is alright, Roggy. My intention was to claim one of these Orosite in the name of the Resistance and use its power to lay waste to the Garlean occupants. Only now do I realize how flawed my ambitions were. You mean this whole time you were playing us for fools? Why didn't we see it earlier? Never trust a woman with ears longer than mine, I always say. excuse me. You have every right to be angry, and I apologize for misleading you. But believe me, I no longer have any desire to deceive you and yours. I shall see you to the Orobron Monastery and ask not in return but that you let me join you in your rescue of Ramza. Do not misunderstand me. I do not do this for any one of you. I do it for my people in both Galamor and Rabanastar, people who may die if this High Seraph is allowed to return to power. Alright. That's the last alliance raid. I will not see the same fate that befell Gaman befell young Ramza. We must do something and quick. It was never my intention to deceive you. Alright, it was not until it was. But you must understand that I was only thinking of my people. I have not once held you as an enemy, only as an obstacle. And now that I know that to be false, I hope we can work together to save the land from the terrible evil that draws ever nearer. It pains me as a father that I am powerless to save my own son. Yo, I have asked much of you these past moons, but naught is more important than what I ask of you now. Please find Ramza. If your vision is true, then not even the Zodiac Graves, Warrior of Light themselves could defeat the High Seraph. Are you certain we should not just allow Ramza's steel to endure? No, that would mean abandoning Ramza. But then what options are left to us? This is all my fault. I was convinced it was Ramza and my father who were bedeviled by the Orsite, when in fact it was me all along. You are wrong, Alma. The Orsite held no power over you. It never did. Your concern for your family was justified, for they allowed their desires to cloud their own judgment. You needn't blame yourself for matters beyond your control. But what of Ramza? He's gone because he tried to save me. Please, yo, you must bring back my brother. I don't know what I would do if I lost him too. You're right, dear brother, we must do something, or might you have any suggestions, Kupo? We must do what Muggles do best. Dance, dance, I say. Hi, Seraph. Ha, you've defeated tougher opponents on both Aldenard and Othard. Ultima will rue the day she rose up against the one and only Warrior of Light. She will, won't she, yo? We must do something, yo. Anything. We cannot let it end like this. Tia would never forgive us. When I was... Yep. You will find Ramza safe, I know it. May the gods be with you, yo. I assume you will be soon dealing with this mess, dealing it a jab to the gut and then a swift kick to the crotch. If anyone can rescue our Yamsa from this peril, it is you. And I mean that. Literally, look around. Not one of us here is a fighter. You are our only hope. Ramza exhibits talents as both an actor and a playwright, yet he lacked the sense to realize that aligning himself with a foreign barbarian would end in naught but failure. If only he had petitioned the Emperor. I am decided. I shall accompany you on your journey to rescue Ramza and see these muscles put to good. Your fellowship is in no dire need of another hand, you say? Of course. I shall be here training should you need me then. Oh. And yes, it would appear that Ultima has abandoned Alma, only to take possession of her poor brother. But riddle me this, yo, what type of being would require a mortal vessel? Oh, okay, alright. That's the same dialogue. And last person. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. Oh, 4 hours, this was a long one. Alright. I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, take care.